Yo, what's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Stacks, and I'm back at you with another episode of Grew Up Inside. First and foremost, as always, big ups, much respect to everyone that's tuned in. You know what I'm saying? Hitting like, commenting, and just taking the time out of your day to hear what I got, hear me out, and support your boy. I appreciate it 1,000. You know what I'm saying? And if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and bang that little subscribe button with the notification bell. That way, every time I drop a new episode or a new freestyle, you guys can, listen and view my shit ASAP. You know what I mean? What I'm going to talk about today, man, is bullies. You know what I'm saying? Bullying, bullies. Like, I never fucked with bullies. You know what I'm saying? I never showed respect to bullies simply for the fact that, what is a bully? All right. So we'll start with the definition of, what the fuck a bully is. I looked it up and it says a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those whom they perceive as vulnerable. All right. So what's that mean? Someone who fucking, thinks that they're tough shit and they pick and choose their battles to only go against those who they think are weaker or vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason, that's the main reason right there why I never respected a bully. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, why don't you bully me, fam? Like, bully me, pick on someone who's gonna fight back, and anytime I ever seen somebody getting bullied or something like that, it doesn't matter whether I was locked up or on the street, like, I'm standing up for him. I don't even have to know you from a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? I can see you getting bullied and I'm going to at least say something. You know what I mean? Like, yo, why don't you come fight? Why don't you come pick on me? Or, you know what I mean? Pick on somebody your own size, or stop being a pussy, whatever. You know what I mean? I just never respected a bully. The verb for it is, seek to harm, intimidate, or coerce someone perceived as vulnerable. You know what I mean? So, in lockup and shit like that, this is where you're gonna find the most vicious and just, like, I'm telling you, like, no heart, no soul, no nothing type of people that will take advantage of a guy that, to the point where, someone will even want to fucking kill their own self because they feel as though there's no other way to get out of it. You know what I mean? And if you're being bullied by your peers in lockup, it's like fucking just twice as worse, because we're already under the iron fist of staffs, COs, sheriff, whatever, we're already under that iron fist, and we're getting fucked up in the shit end of the stick right there. You know what I mean? And then if you got your peers fucking with you as well, taking your food, taking your money, beating you up, straight torturing you, you know what I mean? And it makes it worse, and today I'm gonna tell a little story about a kid, that I did time with. He was an Asian kid. He didn't fit in with the rest of us. You know what I mean? He didn't fit in with the rest of us, and he would get bullied a lot. He would get bullied not only by his peers, but by the staff members as well. There was like 3 or 4 of us that would stick up for him anytime we seen somebody fucking with him. All right, and we're gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why people would fuck with him. So he was just kind of not a mute. I don't want to call him a mute because he did talk. You know what I mean? But he just would pick and choose when he would speak. And, 85 to 90% of the time when you ask him a question, he's not going to respond to you. Or if he does, his answer is going to be something off the wall. And, to be completely honest with you, I don't want to call him a mute because the kid did talk and stuff, but like, he would just say off the wall shit all the time. And, to be completely honest, I feel as though he shouldn't even have been there with us. You know what I mean? The program I was in was a drug and alcohol program. So, you know, you would end up there whether you were a user or, you know, a seller. And he didn't even belong there with us, man. He belonged into the mental health building, man. There was a building called Ravine, and that was the mental health building. And I really feel as though that kid might be alive today had he have been, you know, in that building. And maybe not, because yo, I heard that the mental health I'm sorry, I heard the mental health building would go down more than any other building. The mental health building and the girls unit. The girls unit was always like even more violent, you know, and a lot of times not even towards staff. Like I heard that in the females unit, they had a lot of problem with self-harm, and in the mental unit, self-harm as well, you know, and my heart goes out to them and the people's families of anyone who has ever dealt with suicide or anything like that, because, you know, it's something that, you know, you're just left with a question of why, you know, and it hurts every day, you know. But, you know, this kid, you know, he would get picked on by, you know, other residents and shit like that. And, he would also get picked on by the staff members. You know, there was a time, I was in the bathroom, all right, and I was taking a shit, all right, and I told this before, that the stalls in the bathroom where I was at, they didn't have no doors on them. You know what I'm saying? So you could be in there taking a shit, and you know, people will see you walking. As soon as they walk in the bathroom, bam, someone right there taking a shit. Because when you walk in to the right, there's 2 urinals, and then there's 2 stalls, but then the end is like not a stall, it just has a toilet, you know, and that's where people usually took the shits at. I was in there and I was taking a shit, you know, so I could see the mirror right here, all right, and like every day, people we after showers or whatnot, you know, someone has to go into the bathroom and clean it. You know, they'll go in there, mop, you know, throw sanitizer in the showers, and, you know, just clean up and then squeegee it, you know, make it look nice. And that day it was Homeboy's turn to do it, you know what I mean? And anytime it came to doing anything like this, like doing any type of GIs or clean, he would always refuse. All right, and that day, I guess the staff member, you know, was pissed and feeling a little extra, you know, testosterone or whatever. And long story short, he's standing there with the bucket of sanitizer in his hand. The Asian kid, who the story is about, and the staff is standing there in his face, telling him, you know, clean the fucking urinals, you know, clean the motherfucking urinals now, da 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 da. And he's just standing there like, no. Yo, Homeboy was a G, you know, in his own way, because he would never, ever, ever get like hostile or yell or nothing. Hoon, you know, he was always just, he was Hoon, you know, and I fucked with him. He was a cool dude. That's why I always stuck up for him, you know, because I knew he wasn't all there, and he never fucked with nobody. He stuck to himself, you know. And so yeah, he's telling him, you know, clean the urinal, and he's getting pissed. So he's like, no. And at this time, he was still a little bit fresh in there, you know. I'd say he hasn't even been there for 6 months yet. So he had long hair still, because the barbers would come like once every 3 months. You know what I'm saying? And the first time they came, he refused to get his hair cut, you know? So then they haven't came back yet. So he still had long hair. So the staff grabs him by his fucking hair and shoves his face straight down into the urinal and says, you're gonna clean them motherfucking urinals, blah, 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 and start, you know, he probably gave him a couple body shots and shit like that. I didn't get to see everything, but because I was sitting there taking a shit, but I'm like this, looking in the mirror, you know what I mean? And I seen he had his fucking face shoved down in the urinal and shit. And, you know, how do you think he felt? You know, he was a kid. He was like, wasn't all there. And like, here's this dude shoving his face in the fucking urinal. Just another motherfucking case of when fucking staff members bringing their shit from home into work and being bullies and abusing their fucking authority. You know what I mean? It's not only the inmates and shit like that, and residents, other fucking peers that are bullies that you have to worry about. It's fucking staff members too. The motherfuckers that are supposed to be there counseling us and shit. So yeah, he's shoving his fucking face in the toilet and, you know, just straight violating them. You know what I mean? So I said something. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, you don't gotta fucking, you know, put his face down in the thing like that. You know what I mean? So we ended up getting into some, you know, exchange of words, you know, and I brought it up to the supervisor and everything that night, you know, because he was being a bully. You know what I mean? I was like, I bet you wouldn't shove my motherfucking face in the urinal like that. You know what I mean? And the staff like was like, yeah, saying whatever he said. You know, I don't even remember exactly. This was years ago. But I know that I stuck up for the dude, you know what I mean? And, you know, he was just getting bullied by everyone, you know? And one time there was a big-ass riot and shit like that, you know what I mean? And then after the riot, we went on a freeze, you know what I'm saying? And they called it a freeze because everyone that pretty much worked there all got fired, you know, and they brought in a whole new management, like a director of the program, and everything got fired because of this riot. Okay. And we were on a freeze, you know what I mean? And what happened during that freeze was they just left us in our room. They had no one to fucking, we were outnumbered them so much, you know, until they filled all the positions back up. And what they did was they only left us come out of our room for 15 minutes, 3 times a week. So out of Monday through Sunday, we would come out Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. You know what I'm saying? For 15 minutes only to get a shower. That's it. Everything else was locked in our room. Okay, and there's been studies done, and it's proven fact that the human brain is not even developed at that time. You know what I'm saying? And so here we are, 15, 16, 17-year-olds, whatever, and locked in these rooms for 48 hours, 72 hours straight before we even get to come out, you know? And no human contact other than 3 times a day when a staff member comes to open a door and hand you your tray, because at this time in the juvenile, we don't have the tray slots because we're not supposed to be getting fed in our fucking rooms, you know? And we stayed like that for like 60 some days, almost 3 months, over 60 days, you know? It was almost 3 months we stayed like that. And during this time, they're supposed to be doing checks on your room. When I say checks, I mean they come through and they look in the window and make sure you're all right, you're fucking alive, and you're breathing, and, you know, nothing's going on, all right? They were supposed to be doing these checks at 5-minute or 15-minute intervals. I want to say they were supposed to do it every 5 minutes because, like, the rules and regulations and laws and stuff are different when it's juveniles, but we still get treated like dogs anyway. Worse than dogs. You know what I mean? For those 3 months, yeah, they were feeding us peanut butter and jellies. I ate so many fucking Uncrustables. I had Uncrustables come out of my fucking ears. You know what I'm saying? So, they're supposed to be doing checks at 5-minute intervals, all right? And somewhere during the course of the night, this kid that was being bullied for the past 5-6 months, you know, before the riot popped off and we went on the freeze, was getting bullied and then we went and shit so bad and stuff, and then, you know, we went on that freeze and it made him, some of us, basically what I'm trying to say is it breaks you or makes you. And it broke this kid, you know, and he killed himself. He decided that he didn't want to live no more. At 17 years old, he decided that life wasn't worth it no more, you know, and it was because of the way that they were treating us, and, you know, and before they brought all the new staff members in and shit like that, there were still some of the old ones, and they were playing a game called knock the resident off the mushroom. And basically that's in our room. We have a stool. It looks like a mushroom. It's bolted to the floor. You know, whoever's sitting there chilling, they go through and catch them, pop their door and run in and boom, beat them the fuck up real quick. you know, and they ended up doing it to Hoon. I don't know why they did it to him. They, you know, he never fucked with no one and never gave no one problems. He just wasn't wanted to do what he wanted to do, you know, but he didn't cause no issues. You know, he didn't cause no problems. He nothing like that. And they were bullying this kid, you know, and he decided to you know, hang himself, and he used a sheet, right? And the place where he hung himself at, every room had a locker. I want to say they're maybe 6 feet high, maybe, all right? And basically the way he did it, he couldn't just hang. He had to tie the sheet around his neck really, really tight, and then, you know, kind of lean forward a little bit or just hang himself, and then he had to pull his knees up to his chest, you know, and hug himself like that to enable, in order to really actually be successful at it. You know, he didn't, you know, he didn't just hang there, you know, he ended up getting to a position that he couldn't undo it. You know, he literally held his knees up long enough for himself to die, you know, and you know, it's just really fucked up, you know, to think about that, you know, a 17-year-old kid feeling like life is that bad. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, it was bad. It was bad there. They were abusing us. You know, I suffered a lot of abuse there, and I have a lot more stories that I'm going to tell, you know, on here about me being beat the fuck up by staff members, you know. But I was always strong enough right here to where it didn't break me like that, you know. But this guy, he wasn't strong enough, you know. And he killed himself in a manner that was like really brutal and inhumane, you know. But what was he going through, you know? And shit like that is still happening today. These staff members are abusing kids on a daily. You know, I say it all the time. 50,000 kids in America are incarcerated on any given moment. You know what I mean? On any given moment. And, you know, my heart goes out for anyone who have ever, you know, had a family member or or a friend or anything that went through suicide and stuff, you know, because you know, I didn't even really know him like that, but I did because, you know, we were living next to each other for 6 months, you know, but like I didn't know him, and that shit hurt my heart, you know, because like, you know, 17, there's no reason a 17-year-old should want to kill themselves. You know, and it was because of what the staff were doing to him and what his peers were fucking doing to him. But, you know, I'm going to say this. The staff were fucking him up in ways way worse than what his peers were. His peers would just fuck with him, not really physically harm him. The staff were physically beating him the fuck up, shoving his face in urinals and shit, you know. And then we went on that freeze and he couldn't handle it, you know, and he killed himself. Shit's just crazy, you know? And shit like that goes unnoticed. You would have never, ever, ever, ever heard about that in any newspaper because I searched for it. I tried to find it. And it's nowhere on the internet. You know what I mean? The riot that happened, that popped off, watch my riot video. I have the screenshots of the article and I read through them. You know what I mean? Just you know, as always, y'all already know what I do. You know, I come on here and I shed light. You know, where it's dark, as I should, you know, because it's a really fucked up judicial and system that we believe in, you know. And shit like this is happening all the time, you know what I mean? Hope you guys enjoy my content. If you guys haven't done it yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button with the little notification bell so that way you guys don't miss nothing and, you know, you'll hear about it first. You know what I mean? If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment, you know what I mean? I appreciate all feedback. You know, if you guys want to hear me talk about something, you know, or see a certain type of video, you know, pertaining to injustices or brutalities, or, you know, if you've been through that as a kid in placements, foster homes, anything like that, hit me up, you know? We could do an interview and we'll get your story out there and shit like that, you know? Because the shit needs to be heard, you know? Like I said, there's a lot of prison channels out there you can go to hear about war stories of people fighting and getting stabbed up and shit, but So yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep coming on here and shedding light where it's dark, man. Hit subscribe and let's get up to 1K, you know what I'm saying? Till next time. You.